Śrīla Rashtarashatashmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Śrīla Gurudev Ki Jai. Nitya Vishnupad Rashtarashatashmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Vishram Vishnupad Rashtarashatashmar Nitya Vishram Vishnupad Rashtarashatashmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Vishram Vishnupad Rashtarashatashmar Bhakti, sorry, let me just, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Vishram Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Vishram Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Bhagavat Śrīla Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannātha Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nugagoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jeev Gopal Pada Dasa Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Svarūpa Dāmodara Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshada Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shikshetam Chora Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Dev Ki Jai. Shri Baladev Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Subhadra Devi Ki Jai. Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. Shri Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā Mahotsav Ki Jai. I'm not sure if we call it Mahotsav. Shri Svarūpa Dāmodara Ki Jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi Ki Jai. Shri Śivānanda Sena Ki Jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi Ki Jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat pranams to all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful wonderful celebrations wherever you are today. So I'm starting a bit late today again, but today will be a short reading. I'm only going to read from Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj. There are 3 things that they sent out on the Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani mailing list. One about answering devotees' questions about Ratha-yātrā, and then also kathā about Svarūpa Dāmodara and Śivānanda Sena, whose disappearance day it is today. And then maybe we can sing Jagannātha Ashtakam or do something at the end. We'll see how much time there is after we read that. And other days, like last year, I read quite a lot of the Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā book. And I think all those live streams are on the Vine of Devotion channel in the, I think there's a, what do you call it? Collection section? Like yeah, I think it might be there. Anyhow, let's begin. I'm going to, Haribol Satya Mataji and Mahārāja and Raseshwari Mataji. Pranams to all of you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll begin. Okay, sorry, I was just looking for something. All right. Where are we? Oh yeah, we're doing it here. Okay, I guess first we'll read about Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā. Okay, Ratha-yātrā, question and answer. So this is from like a darshan with Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Mahārāja on July 6th, 2016. Say, Shri Mataji, were you in Puri on this in 2016, was it? Can't remember. Okay, so devotee asks, with what mood do Gaudiya Vaishnavas come for Ratha-yātrā? Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Mahārāja says, service is of two types. One is based on niti or maryada, that's rules, and the other is based on priti or bhav, one's affection. Oh, and there's an interesting endnote here. Let's read it, because we have time. Oh my god, it's so long. Okay. Okay, endnote. So this is from the article Odon Shashti. Service is of two types. One is based on niti, rules, and the other is based on priti, affection. Once in our mat, we offered winter outfits to Jagannātha, Baladeva, and Subhadra before Odon Shashti. One gentleman inquired, why have you offered winter outfits before the actual titi of Odon Shashti? I asked, why are you wearing a warm coat today? Because the weather is cold, isn't it? Our service is based on love, and your service is based on rules. So if the weather turns cold, we offer winter outfits to our deities. Today I read that in Punjab the temperature has reached 4 to 5 degrees. How can we not offer the deities winter outfits there? Such service outlook is called Atmavat Seva. If I am feeling cold, the Lord too must be feeling cold. Consider, for instance, an employee working at a government an employee working at a government wheat storehouse arrives 10 minutes before his official duty time, which is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And despite noticing the rain, he doesn't protect the wheat from getting soaked in the rain, which is what he is supposedly paid for. His mentality is, it is not 10 a.m. yet. My job for the day hasn't begun, so the authorities can't blame me. Technically speaking, he is right. Nevertheless, in just 2 minutes, he could have covered the entire stock of wheat to protect it from getting wet, but he chooses not to because his service is based on rules. On the other hand, an old lady who can barely walk, noticing that it is about to rain, somehow manages to cover the stock of wheat kept by her daughter-in-law for drying. She manages to cover the stock of wheat kept by her daughter-in-law for drying in the courtyard of their house. She thinks, there's no one at home. This is our wheat. It will get spoiled if exposed to rain, and our money will get wasted. But the employee at the government storehouse doesn't see the government's loss as his own. So those who do not consider gain and instead just focus on their own convenience are called nitivadi, while those who act out of love, and no matter how much inconvenience they may have to face for the benefit of the object of their affection, invest their entire energy, are called pritivadi. Okay, so there's nitivadi and pritivadi. Okay, so service is of two types. One is based on niti and the other is based on priti. Chandra? Gosh. Oh man, I might have to get the door for a second. Chandra? Okay. Gaudiya Vaishnavas come to Jagannath Puri Ratha-yātrā to take Shri Krishna to Vraj. Krishna loya Vraja jai e bhava antar. Complete internal absorption in the idea that I am taking Krishna to Vraj. This is the consideration of the Bhav Rajya, the realm governed by various spiritual moods. In this context, in Srimad Bhagavatam it has been mentioned, Shri Krishna went to Kurukshetra on the pretext of taking a whole bath in Brahma Sarovar during the solar eclipse. However, this was just an external reason. The internal motive was to meet with the Vraj Gopis. And the Vraj Gopis also went to Kurukshetra under the same pretext, but their real intention was to meet with Shri Krishna. After bathing in Brahma Sarovar, Shri Krishna created an excuse of falling ill. In such a condition, he would not meet with anyone, and at that time the Vraj Gopis served him while everyone else returned. This is the mood of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. On the other hand, in the Maryada Marg, the path based on rules and regulations, Lord Jagannath falls ill after the Śrīla, and he is served by the Daitas during this time. The Pandas do not serve Jagannath during this period. Because of his illness, Jagannath is not offered anna bhog. He's not offered rice, sabji, and so on during this period. He is daily administered digestive medicines. After this, when he still does not recover, they call a senior doctor, a Vaidya, who then massages him and recommends some diet, some patya, consisting of puri, paneer, and so on. When he recovers slightly, he is offered khichdi in the mornings and regular bhog in the evenings. This procedure is followed in the Jagannath temple. Okay, so now we're reading about why there are 3 separate chariots. Let me just check the comments, 1 second. Haribo, Surevi Didi, and Gargarajji, Dandavat Pranams. Okay. Why 3 separate chariots? As per the consideration of the Priti Marg, the Vraj Gopis are taking Shri Krishna to Vrindavan. So there are 3 separate chariots, one for Baladev, one for Subhadra Devi, and one for Jagannath. Otherwise, it will result in ras viparyaya, contradiction. Do you understand ras viparyaya? And one devotee says rasabhas. And then Śrīla Maharaj says, not rasabhas, viparyaya. Devotee 2. Viparit? Śrīla Maharaj, yes. Because the Vraj Gopis will not meet with Krishna in the presence of Baladev, Baladev travels separately. Okay, so that's why Baladev goes in the front. Because then Jagannath's in the back, and Jagannath is, it's a lot more private in the back. He can't be with the gopis before Baladev. The same principle applies in the case of Subhadra Devi as well. Baladev leads the way and is followed next by Subhadra Devi. In the Rag Marg, the path of spontaneous love, if they are in the presence of Baladev and Subhadra, then it will result in ras viparyaya. That is why Jagannath is brought out last. As per the path of regulative principles of Vidhi Marga, Shri Baladev is Guru Tattva. Subhadra Devi's grace will follow the grace of Shri Baladev, as she is Bhakti Devi. So, by the mercy of Guru, Bhakti will manifest, and as a result, we can attain Bhagavan. It's such a great explanation, isn't it? Haribo, Rup Manjari Didi, and Nitai. Okay, why Jagannath rocks both ways? During the Pandu Vijay ceremony, while Jagannath is being carried onto his chariot just before the Ratha-yātrā, it is observed that Jagannath rocks from one side to the other. However, this does not occur in the case of Lord Balaram and Subhadra. This is because Jagannāth wants to meet with all the devotees, so he turns towards everyone. He doesn't want to displease anyone. Thus he takes longer to reach the chariot. With this mood, he is led to his chariot. Gaudiya Vaishnavas do not come to the Ratha-yātrā to escape rebirth. So, in this mood, Gaudiya Vaishnavas come. But they do not come with the thought that by taking darshan of Jagannātha and the Rath, we will not have to take rebirth. Does Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur fear another birth? He says, Kita janmaho jatatu adas. He says, may I take birth as a worm? May I take birth as a worm, as long as I remain your devotee. If Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying to be born as a worm, for what reason will he fear rebirth? So Gaudiya Vaishnavas do not come for that. When the Rath returns, Gaudiya Vaishnavas do not participate in that part of the festival, because for them, Shri Krishna is being taken to Dwarka from Vrindavan. Observance of Ratha-yātrā only under the guidance of sadhus. Just 1 second, I'm just going to close the door. Okay. Observance of Ratha-yātrā only under the guidance of sadhus. During Ratha-yātrā, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his many eternal associates would dance in front of Sri Jagannath Dev's chariot. They never thought to themselves, I have to pull the cart, I have to touch the rope, or I have to shout Jai Jagannath as everyone else is doing. This is a really interesting point. These days, those who attend Ratha-yātrā bring with them many emotions and sentiments. They say things like, I pulled the chariot for a whole minute, and I was able to see Jagannath very clearly. In reality, acts such as pulling the Rath rope will never change the hearts of those who are sincere in their attempts to follow the path of Bhakti, even if they could somehow maintain their grip on it for hundreds of thousands of lifetimes. Granted, these types of activities may yield some type of sukriti for common persons, but for serious sadhaks, sentimental activities of this nature yield no practical results. Such empty gestures have been completely rejected by Sriman Mahaprabhu and his associates, who observed Sri Jagannath Dev's Ratha-yātrā with only one mood. Krishna loya vraje jai e bhav antar. Complete internal absorption in the idea that I am taking Krishna to Vraj. Unless during our observance of Ratha-yātrā we meet with sadhus, hear from them, and stay under their guidance, we will derive no benefit by attending this festival. We will be unable to understand its truths. Mahaprabhu is... Okay. Wow, that's really nice point, huh? Mahaprabhu established both moods, Vidhi and Rag. There are two associates of Mahaprabhu, Srivas Pandit and Svarūpa Dāmodara. Mahaprabhu instigated a debate between Srivas Pandit and Svarūpa Dāmodara to clearly delineate the difference between the two moods of devotional service. Thus, Srivas Pandit, who exhibited the opulent mood, the Maryada Bhav of worship, glorified the mood of Lakshmi, saying, See how opulent is our Lakshmi Devi. And Svarūpa Dāmodara responded by elucidating the supremacy of the mood of the Vraja Gopis. Making both Svarūpa Dāmodara and Srivas Pandit as mediums, he gave the teaching. Svarūpa Dāmodara is a Vrajavasi and Srivas Pandit is a Purivasi. Svarūpa Dāmodara said to Srivas Pandit, You do not even understand the mood of Vrindavan. Those who identify themselves as Gaudiya Vaishnavas and have the abhiman that they are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they will not take darshan of the return journey. What to speak about pulling or touching the rope? Because Gaudiya Vaishnavas only endeavor to take the Lord to Vrindavan as they are attracted to the mood of Vrindavan. They're only attracted to the mood of Vrindavan, so they only take to the It is not possible to understand all this by our own endeavors. Only when we go along with the Pranay Bhaktas under their shelter, we can understand this mood. Who is qualified to understand the real mood of Ratha-yātrā? We have seen such moods in those days. When there is no government in charge of the Ratha-yātrā proceedings. They took charge in 1973. Prior to that, during Ratha-yātrā, the festival management, which was from the king's side, used a special area in front of the chariots where devotees could perform kirtan without any disturbance. Common people were not permitted to enter there. Once, while the Gaudiya Math devotees were performing kirtan in that area under the guidance of my Guru Mahārāja, the servants, or pandits of Lord Jagannātha, became so ecstatic by hearing the kirtan that they lifted Guru Mahārāja on their shoulders. Whoa! And they forcibly carried him onto the Lord's chariot. Meanwhile, absorbed in the mood experienced by the Vraja Gopis when they meet with Sri Krishna in Kurukshetra, Srila Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja was dancing and singing the following song in front of it. He's singing, Sheto Parananata Painu Jaha Lagi Madana Dahane Jhuri Genu. At Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 13:113. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burned by Cupid and was withering away. While Srila Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja was fully absorbed in singing this kirtan, all the devotees around him also became immersed in the same mood of meeting and were feeling jubilant. A pickpocket used this opportunity to steal Srila Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja's wallet from his bag. Since most of the devotees were absorbed in the kirtan, no one noticed except one of my godbrothers, Sri Narayan Brahmachari, later known as Sri Bhakti Prasad Puri Mahārāja, who rushed forward and caught the pickpocket. While restraining the thief, Sri Narayan Brahmachari desperately tried to get the attention of Srila Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja. But Srila Mahārāja was so absorbed in the kirtan that he didn't pay any attention to his words. When Sri Narayan Brahmachari tried more insistently, Srila Puri Mahārāja suddenly became very upset and chastised him. Why are you disturbing me? Let him take the money. Money will come and go, but the mood we are experiencing at this moment may not come again. When Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja read out the pastime of Kir Chor Gopinath at the temple in Ramuna, he became oblivious of everything around him. He experienced the fire of separation due to the mood manifest in his heart. So only those in whose hearts the intense separation from the Lord has manifested will understand the real mood of Ratha-yātrā. Just checking the comments. Oh, Hare Krishna, Amit Prabhu. Thank you. The return Ratha-yātrā. Devotee. Shouldn't we participate in the return Ratha-yātrā at all? Srila Mahārāja. I am not saying we should not participate. I am saying that it is not our mood. But if you go to see, we, as a practicing sadhak, actually don't possess any mood at all. Do we? We are practicing. When after much practice we become established in the mood, then we will understand. Devotee. But we have read in the scriptures that Sriman Mahaprabhu used to sing kirtans during the return Ratha-yātrā as well. Srila Mahārāja. Yes, he did. That is because he established both moods, regulative devotional service, Vidhimarg, and spontaneous devotional service, Ragamarg, to cater to the various categories of devotees. Vedi marga rata jane, swadinata ratna dane, raga marge korano pravesha. Krishna eventually bestows the jewel of independence onto those persons who are attached to the path of rules and regulations, thereby allowing them entrance into the path of spontaneous loving service. That's from the song Shuno He Rasiko Jan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. First one practices the Vidhi Marga, and only then can he proceed to the Rag Marga, devotee. Mahaprabhu did so, participated in the return Ratha-yātrā, to establish the path of regulative devotional service, Maryada Marg. Srila Mahārāja. Yes, he showed and gave teachings about both the paths. During the return Ratha-yātrā, Mahaprabhu attended the procession and sang and danced. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted and sang with great pleasure to encourage devotees like Śrīvas Pandit, who were in the mood of Aishvarya. So that's one thing with this point here. I was trying to find where in the Jagannātha book. Maybe it doesn't. For some reason, I had a memory of it. I translated this book, but it was a long time ago. I had a memory of my Gurudev saying that Mahaprabhu had the same mood. But I wrong. That's just what I have in my memory. It'd be probably later on. Probably be in... Would it be in concluding words? No, it wouldn't be in concluding words. Whatever. If I find it, I'll let you know. But for some reason, I thought my Gurudev said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was absorbed in the same mood on the return Rath, that he's bringing Krishna back to Vrindavan. Because for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was like he would see a hill in Govardhan, or he'd see the ocean and see Yamuna, so Krishna was, so Mahaprabhu just bringing Jagannātha in a chariot, he was thinking, like, we're bringing Krishna back to, like, it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, anything would bring remembrance like that to Mahaprabhu. It wasn't about what was externally happening, what the external situation was. But I have to look that up and find out. But, and like, even that doesn't disturb me if there's a difference of opinion between my Gurudev and Śrīla Bhakti-Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj. Because we also see there's a big difference of opinion between Śrīla Śrīla Gosvāmī Maharaj and my Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti-Vijñāna Keshav Gosvāmī Maharaj. Śrīla Śrīla Gosvāmī Maharaj said that there should never be any Ratha-yātrā in Navadvip. It's Rasabhas. It's not. And my Param Gurudev, he established yearly Ratha-yātrā in Navadvip. And so there's actually like a big tension between them during that time. My Gurudev wrote a couple articles regarding this point during that time. And Śrīla Śrīla Gosvāmī Maharaj wrote, anyways, it was a point of contention. But I don't actually find those kinds of things disturbing, because when it comes to Ras, there's a lot of room for different considerations and different like Ras is depending on the feeling of a particular devotee with Krishna. And there are all different kinds of moods and feelings, and that's why in Vraj, we read in Radha Krishna Ganodeshtipika how many different groups of gopis there are. Even within Radharani's groups, there are like a bunch of main groups in Radharani's group, and then those groups branch out, and then there's like a bunch of groups in those groups, and then those groups are further branched out, and there's different groups. And why are there so many different groups? Because there's so many different moods, and so many different people are more like-minded than others, and so naturally everybody that's Vraj Leela is all full of especially like with Radharani and Chandravali, how that's like the main feature of their pastimes is the clashing between them. We hear so many examples about how Chandravali is like, how could Radharani treat Krishna in this way? But then Radharani thinks, no, Chandravali has no love, like no, she doesn't know how to please Krishna. And I'm sorry, I'm not speaking exactly like what are like authoritatively, but you understand the gist. And so when it comes to things regarding moods, there's lots of room for disagreements among Mahabhagavats. It's when we come to tattva, then tattva that's like there's everybody agrees on tattva, but when it comes to ras, there can be many different considerations. That's my understanding. If anybody has anything to say on that, you can let me know. All right, so now we will read about the disappearance day of Svarūpa Dāmodara. One second, let me zoom out. I should read about Śivānanda saint first and then Svarūpa Dāmodara. Let's read about Svarūpa Dāmodara first. Why is it taking so long to load? What happened? Okay. There. Disappearance of Svarūpa Dāmodara. June 20, 2023 is the disappearance day of Sri Svarūpa Dāmodara in Vrindavan, India. The following is an excerpt of a Bhava Anuvad of the kathā given by... Okay, this is the same, it's same year, 2016, July 6th. Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Today is the Ratha-yātrā of Jagannātha, and it is also the disappearance day of Sri Svarūpa Dāmodara. By worldly considerations, Svarūpa Dāmodara was born in Navadvip. His earlier name was Purushottam Bhattacharya, or Purushottam Acharya, accepting sannyas. When Sri Chaitanya Dev took sannyas, Purushottam Acharya could no longer continue to reside in Navadvip due to the pain of separation from Sri Chaitanya Dev. Thus, he went to Kashi and accepted sannyas. But he did not accept yogapatta, the saffron-colored dress. So he just remained Dāmodara Svarūpa. Later, when he discovered that Mahaprabhu was in Puri, he quickly went there. Upon seeing him, he paid obeisances at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and recited the following shloka from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 10.119. Helo dunita kedaya vishadaya pronmila damodaya shamyat shastra vivadaya rasadaya chittarpiton madaya shashvar bhakti vinodaya samadaya durya maryadaya Shri Chaitanya Daya Nideta Vadaya Bhuya Ramando Daya. O Ocean of Mercy, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation by making everything pure and blissful. Indeed, your mercy awakens transcendental bliss and covers all material pleasures. By your auspicious mercy, quarrels and disagreements arising among different scriptures are vanquished. Your auspicious mercy pours forth transcendental mellows, and thus causes the heart to jubilate. Your mercy, which is full of joy, always stimulates devotional service and glorifies conjugal love of God. May transcendental bliss awaken within my heart by your causeless mercy. O Sri Chaitanya Dev, your mercy is like Amanda Udaya. There is no inauspiciousness for anybody. You take away the material desires very easily. O Prabhu, I do not possess even an iota of love towards your lotus feet. That is why I left you and went to Kashi. Svarūpa Dāmodara uttered such words of humility. The Transcendental Examiner. If someone wrote anything, composed poetry or verses with a desire to present them to Sri Chaitanya Dev, then Sri Svarūpa Dāmodara would share it with Sri Chaitanya Dev only after first examining the contents. Otherwise, he would not share it. Svarūpa Dāmodara would correctly present them. Only then would Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agree to listen. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was never pleased to hear books or verses opposed to the conclusive statements of devotional service. The Lord did not like hearing ras abhas, the overlapping of transcendental mellows. It was the practice of Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī to examine all literatures to find out whether their conclusions were correct. Only then would he allow them to be heard by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 10, verses 112 to 114. Svarūpa Dāmodara is a Shuddha Vrajavasi. Although Svarūpa Dāmodara went to Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu addressed him as a Shuddha Vrajavasi. Iho Dāmodara Svarūpa Shuddha Vrajavasi, Aishvarya na jane iho Shuddha preme bhasi. That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 14 to 17. Svarūpa Dāmodara is a pure devotee of Vrindavan. He does not even know what opulence is, for he is simply absorbed in pure devotional service. An intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I've never seen that painting before. In the last 12 years of his stay in Puri, Mahaprabhu spent his time taking shelter of the kirtans of Svarūpa Dāmodara and the shlokas of Ramananda Rai. That is why Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 277. Nandi Dasa Vidyapati Rayera Nataka Giti Karnamrita Shri Gita Govinda Svarūpa Ramananda Sane Mahaprabhu Ratri Dine Kai Shune Paramayananda Kai Shune Parama Ananda. He also passed his time reading the books and singing the songs of Chandidas and Vidyapati, and listening to quotations from the Jagannātha Vallabh Natak, Krishna Karta, and Gita Govinda. Thus, in the association of Svarūpa Dāmodara and the Rai Ramananda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his days and nights chanting and hearing with great pleasure. Svarūpa Dāmodara knew the heart of Sri Chaitanya Dev very well and used to sing kirtans according to time and circumstances. Sri Svarūpa Dāmodara used to read the poems of Vidyapati and Chandidas and Jayadev Goswami's Shri Gita Govinda. So he used to make Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very happy by singing these songs. Svarūpa Dāmodara was as expert a musician as the Gandharvas, and in scriptural discussion he was just like Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly gods. Therefore, it is to be concluded that there is no great personality quite like Svarūpa Dāmodara. That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 10, verses 115 to 116. Ramananda Rai is Vishaka, and in the opinion of some, Lalita. Mahaprabhu used to spend time only with these two in his last days. He did not spend time with anybody else. That glorious Svarūpa Dāmodara left to this world on this day. Alright, so now we will read about Śivānanda Sena. Let me just see. Haribo, Indira Mataji, and Rasa Keli. Okay, just going back. Śivānanda Sena. Oh, this looks like a... How does it keep on doing this? There it is. Okay. Oh, God, it got stuck. Okay. There. Okay, so this is from kathā spoken by Śrīla Bhakti Bhāratī Gosvāmī on January 11th, 2016. They said, although we could not find any kathā by Śrīla Mahārāja recorded on this titi, we are republishing the article released on Nityananda Trayodashi as it is the glories of Śivānanda Sena. Okay. Each year, 200 to 300 devotees would visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri from Bengal, Kulinagram, and Khanda village. One year, in great happiness, they started for Jagannath Puri, congregationally chanting the Lord. Śivānanda Sena managed the payment of tolls at different places. Maintaining everyone, he guided all the devotees in great happiness. Śivānanda Sena took care of everyone and gave each devotee places to stay. He knew all the paths leading to Orissa. One day, when the party was being checked by a toll collector, the devotees were allowed to pass, and Śivānanda Sena remained behind alone to pay the taxes. The party went into a village and waited beneath a tree, because no one but Śivānanda Sena could arrange for their residential quarters. That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, 12:14-18. Śivānanda Sena gets unprecedented mercy from Nityananda. Once, while Nityananda Prabhu was on his way to Puri with Śivānanda Sena's party, one night, there was an inadvertent delay in the allocation of accommodation and prasadam. Śivānanda Sena was in charge of all the affairs. Unable to bear his hunger, in an angry mood, Nityananda said, "I curse Śivānanda's 3 sons to die." Oh my God. Hearing this, Śivānanda Sena's crestfallen wife started crying, and his nephew Shrikant became deeply upset. As soon as Śivānanda Sena arrived, he went to pay obeisances to Nityananda, who kicked him. This is Akroda Paramananda, Akroda, Nityananda, who's never angry. But as soon as Śivānanda arrived, Nityananda Prabhu kicked him. Śivānanda Sena was elated to receive the touch of Nityananda's lotus feet, a rare attainment for even Brahma and the demigods, realizing that he had received unprecedented mercy. Now, did Nityananda Prabhu not get angry here? No. In reality, he is Paramananda. He is always blissful. When Nityananda Prabhu kicked Śivānanda Sena, he made him the exclusive privileged recipient of his foot dust, which can remove all the miseries of material existence. Otherwise, if he had affectionately given him his foot dust, all other devotees present for it. Who will make you understand this? It is very difficult. Sometimes, out of anger, a mother tells her son, sometimes in anger, "Go and die." Wow, I haven't ever heard a mother say that to her son, but anyways, let's see. Sometimes a mother might in anger say, "Go and die," but does she really mean it? On the other hand, if someone else speaks in the same words to her son, she will instinctively attack that person. She will say, "I may increase my son's age to 100 years by speaking these words, but your saying it is inauspicious. The words are exactly the same, so how are the meanings different? In real love, there's both lalana, there's affection, and there's tādana, there's chastisement. Without chastisement, or the sense of protectiveness, love is only 50% complete. What is krodha? What is anger? It is born out of kam. It is born out of lust. And what is kam? Kam means atmenruti vancha tare boli kam. Krishnendriya priti icha dhore premanam. That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 4:165. The desire to gratify one's own senses is kam, lust. But the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is prem, love. Atayeva kama preme bahuta antar kama andatam prema nirmala bhaskar. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 4:171. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. There is a gulf of difference between kam and prem. Kam is andatama, which means it implies not only darkness, but dense darkness. Whereas prem is nirmal bhaskar. Prem is like the rays of the sun shining in a clear sky, unobstructed by fog, clouds, or dust. Nityananda cannot have krodha. He cannot have any anger. He is akrodha. But can you understand this by his external behavior? Did any inauspiciousness befall Śivānanda Sena or his family? Did his sons die? No. In fact, they got even more mercy from Mahaprabhu. Upon reaching Puri, Mahaprabhu instructed Govinda to give his remnants to Śivānanda's sons. That's endnote 2. Alright, so that is our reading about Śivānanda Sena. And now there are 5 minutes left over. I think maybe we can do the Jagannātha Ashtakam. Let me just open it up. Give me a second here. One second. Where is it? No. I keep it in Fine of Devotion. Okay. Okay, I'm just getting my dhamma. Give me 1 second. How do we sing this? There's, I just learned a way to sing by Manjari. How does it go? Oh God, I might forget. Kadachit. Okay. Bhajani. Okay, so Sri Jagannātha Ashtakam. Because it's late, I'm not going to read the translation. We'll just start singing it. Anyways, I'm going to do it the Oriya melody. Kadachit kalende तटविपिना सङ्गीतकवरो मुदाभिरी नारी वदनकमलास्वादमधुपा राम शम्भु ब्रह्मा मरपति गणेशार्चितपरो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे अभुजे सवेवेनो शिरसि शिखि पीछां कटितटे दुकूलां नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षां विधत्ते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दा वनवसति लीला परिचयो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे महाम्बोधिस्थिरे कनकरुचिरे नीलशिखरे वसन् प्रसादान्त सहज बलभद्रेण बलिना सुभद्रा मध्यस्थ सकलसुरसेवा वसरदो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे कृपापारवार सजलजलदर्शे निरुचिरो रामावाणी रामा स्फुरदमलपङ्केरुहमुखा सुरेन्द्र आराध्य श्रुतिगणशिखा गीतचरितो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे रथारूढो गच्छन् पतिमिलितभूदेवपटलाय स्तुतिप्रादुर्भावं प्रतिपदमुपाकर्ण्य सदया दयासिन्धुर्बन्धो सकलजगतां सिन्धुसुतया जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे परं ब्रह्मपीडा कुवलयदलोत्फुल्लनयनो निवासी नीलाद्रौ निहितचरणो नन्तशिरसि रसानन्तिराधा सरसवपुरालिङ्गनसुखो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे नवयाचे राजा न च कनकमाणिक्यविभवम् न याचेऽहं रम्यां सकलजनकाम्यां वरवधूं सदा काले काले प्रमथपतिना गीतचरितो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे हरत्वं संसारं द्रुततरमसारं सुरपते हरत्वं पापानां tatima param yadavapate aho dine nate nihita charano nishchitamidam Jagannātha Swami Nayana Pata Kami Bhavatu me Jagannātha Swami Nayana Pata Kami Bhavatu me Jagannāthashtakam Punyam Ya Patet Prayata Sarva Papa Vishuddhatma Vishnu Lokam Sagachati Jagannātha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me O Jagannātha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me Jaya Jagannātha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Devi Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Jagannātha Jaya Baladeva Subhadra Devi Jaya Sudarshana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Indira Mataji, that is a great idea. Yeah, maybe we can sing it every night for this week. But would you mind if I sing it after 8:30? Like I'll try to finish Srimad Bhagavatam by 8:30 and then I'll sing this afterwards. Like we were doing during Keshav Vrat. Remember I was singing Keshav Ashtakam after Jaidvani. So that if anybody wanted to go, they could go. But I still wanted to get the day's reading in because now we're getting so close to the end of, I think we only have a few more days left. And I want to read all of Golden Volcano of Divine Love before Chaturmasya begins, which is in 2 weeks. And so I'm not sure if it would be possible, but I would like to do that, read Golden Volcano of Divine Love. So yeah, if you don't mind me starting at late, then I can totally do that. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's a great idea. I really like that idea. So let's do that. We'll read for this whole week of Ratha-yātrā. We will sing Jagannāthashtakam every day. And there's another melody. I forgot it right when I was about to start. But there's a really nice melody that Manjari, I learned from Manjari. So we can do that one also. Alright, Jai Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Śrīla Gurudeva Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gorkshuras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannātha Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nugagoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dashagunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Svarūpa Dāmodara Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandal, Gaura Mandal, Vraja Mandal, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai, Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Jagannātha Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakraju ki jai, Shri Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā ki jai. Shri Sundarachal Nilachal ki Nilachal Sundarachal ki jai. Shri Swaparshad Shri Gaur Hari ki jai. Shri Svarūpa Dāmodara ki jai. Shri Śivānanda Sena ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirobha Thiti ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Vo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Jai Ho. Oh, wow. Yeah, the New Braj Festival started already. Wow. Okay. Okay, so you'll listen to the recording at a different time. Wow, that's exciting, though, the New Braj Festival. Amazing that you're still able to join, even though there's a New Braj Festival. All right. Jai Shri Radhe, everybody. I'll see you. Oh, I'm just noticing this comment from Mohar. You remember your mother saying such things when she got angry when your sibling and you would create a mess. Okay. Yes, I think also probably in Western culture it's a lot more. They're a lot less strict with their children. I think it's generally, I've noted that's been my observation, which I think it's good to have a bit more discipline. But yeah. All right, everybody. So see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Sachinandam Gaur Hari ki jai, Jai Shri Jagannātha Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakraju ki jai. See you all tomorrow to continue our reading of the 12th canto. We're getting very close to the end. Hari Bol, everybody. Oh, Hari Krishna. Jai Jagannātha. Hari Bol.